Manifest the demon Malebolgia from the Spawn comics to become a hellspawn like Simmons subliminal. I am now manifesting the demon Malebolgia from the Spawn comics that is able to turn me into a hellborn demon like Simmons. I can see and hear Malebolgia. He looks like he stepped right out of the comics. He is able to interact with me. I make a deal with Malebolgia to become a hellspawn just like Simmons. Once the deal is sealed, I will become a hellborn demon just like Simmons. I have his reanimated corpse. My spawn is effectively a possessed cadaver weighing over 400 pounds. While I retain human features like a heart and lungs, they are non-functional and serve only as psychological echoes of my former life. I have his density control. I can manipulate his molecular density at will, becoming light enough to glide or heavy enough to withstand extreme force. I have his supernatural senses. My eyes glow with green necroplasmic light, allowing me to perceive evil sense, detecting negative intent, suffering, and hatred in others. I have his biological connection. The suit is a neural parasite that fuses directly with Spawn's central nervous system and spinal fluid. I have his autonomic defense. Since it's linked to his nerves, the suit can act independently to protect Spawn if I'm unconscious or distracted. I have his feeding mechanism. The suit sustains itself by consuming Spawn's necroplasm, souls, or even ambient fetal energy from the environment. I have his 9,999 counter. I am typically granted a starting pool of 9,999 units of necroplasm. I have this energy depletion. I can produce massive feats like resurrecting the dead, teleporting, or major self-healing drain this counter. I have his finality. If the counter hits 0000, the hellspawn soul is immediately forfeited, and they are dragged back to hell to serve in Malebolgia's army. I have their powers and abilities. I have healing. I can regenerate lost limbs or holes in my chest almost instantly. I have their durability. I am effectively immortal. Standard gunfire or stabbing cause pain but cannot kill me. I have his energy blast. I can fire beams or projectiles with green necroplasmic energy from my hands or body. I have his matter manipulation. I can spawn and transmute matter, conjure physical objects, or even cure the sick and resurrect the dead. I have his reality warping. I have the ability to manipulate time, freezing it entirely, warp reality, and create portals to other dimensions. I have his nature and animal control. I can communicate with and control animals like bats, rats, and wolves, and even manipulate the natural world to summon trees or cause earthquakes. I have his shape-shifting cape. I have his red cloak is virtually indestructible. It can transform into wings for flight, a shield for protection, or a shroud for camouflage and invisibility. I have his sentient chains. The suit features unbreakable chains and spikes that can lash out independently to impale, grab, or crush enemies with over 100 tons of force. I have his density control. I can spawn and make my body light enough to phase through walls or heavy enough to withstand a direct hit from a car. I have his martial arts master. I already have mastered 13 different forms of martial arts, including Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and Ninjutsu. I have his weapons expert. I am a world-class marksman and swordsman, often carrying heavy military firearms to conserve his necroplasmic energy. I have his tactical genius. My CIA and Marine training makes me a brilliant strategist capable of taking down supernatural threats much more powerful than myself. I have his skills. I have his master marksman. I am an expert in all firearm classes, from handguns to heavy artillery. I have his multidisciplinary martial artist. I have already mastered 13 combat styles including Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and CQC. I have his weapons master. I am proficient with knives, swords, and unconventional street weaponry. I have his strategic genius. I specialize in guerrilla warfare, infiltration, and psychological combat. I have his master infiltrator. I am trained in black ops stealth, allowing me to enter high security facilities undetected. I have his linguistic skills, fluent in over 10 languages, including Japanese, Spanish, and Russian. I have his investigation. I use elite CIA forensic and tracking skills to solve supernatural crimes. I have his survivalist skills. I am capable of living off the land or in urban decay with zero resources. I have his high pain tolerance. I can maintain focus and combat efficiency despite extreme physical trauma. I have his iron will. I often resist the mental influence of demonic entities like Malebolgia. I have his expert interrogator. I am skilled in breaking targets through both physical and psychological pressure. I am now manifesting the demon Malebolgia from the Spawn comics that is able to turn me into a hellborn demon like Simmons. This subliminal will work within 3 months. Manifest the demon Malebolgia from the Spawn comics to become a hellspawn like Simmons subliminal. I am now manifesting the demon Malebolgia from the Spawn comics that is able to turn me into a hellborn demon like Simmons. I can see and hear Malebolgia. He looks like he stepped right out of the comic. He is able to interact with me. I make a deal with Malebolgia to become a hellspawn just like Simmons. Once the deal is sealed, I will become a hellborn demon just like Simmons. I have his reanimated corpse. My spawn is effectively a possessed cadaver weighing over 400 pounds. While I retain human features like a heart and lungs, they are non-functional and serve only as psychological echoes of my former life. I have his density control. I can